What is going on, guys? Happy Tag Team Thursday. We are back again, and if you guys have not been here before, we are jumping from YouTube channel to YouTube channel to kind of connect this whole run of videos that we've been doing. And it all started out with Rod, Just a Rican, and his comics at 6:30. Then it went over to John's Comics with Kids, and then Old Wolf 65. From there, we went to Comic Chop News, and then we just had Brandon on ComixKings. Just had his going, which was you did a great job, man. It was his first time joining us for that. So this has just been tremendous. It's been so much fun seeing everybody in the chat. Like I said, if you're new to this, go check out everyone else's their videos before. I am the closer. This is kind of where I wrap things up after everyone else has shown everything. I think Rod referred to it as the after party at one point. I am trying to keep this show condensed. But of course, that always sometimes goes over. Anybody in the chat, let me know if I'm skipping or anything like that, because I was having some internet issues earlier in the week. Not sure what was going on with that. But in the meantime, take a moment, hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we'll get into the books that I have for what I've read for this week that have just come out. I've got 5 books that I want to talk about, and then I want to kind of give a little heads up as to the top 3 books that I'll be buying for New Comic Book Day next week. There were a lot of great books, so we will definitely dive into that. Before we do, first and foremost, oh, is this not working? Here we go. We got Zen in the house, Zen Multiverse. What's going on, man? Bamf. This man's been bamfing everywhere, going from YouTube channel to YouTube channel. So appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the support, and always good to see you. And we got Todd Christian in the house, as always, as well. And PJ King, Enter Sandman. That's right. You guys have been awesome, just hitting up every video as we've been going along. Really appreciate you guys and your support, Todd and PJ. And we got Dan here. Dan just did a great job half an hour ago doing his video coming out of the bullpen. That's right. That's right. We got Jennifer. What's up, Jennifer? Great to see you. Seeing Jennifer going through and through with all the different channels as well. And there's the man himself, Rod, Just a Rican and his comics. He was the one that kicked this off at 6:30. So again, if you guys are just catching this now, you're not familiar with Tag Team Thursday, I highly recommend going back, checking out Rod's channel that kicked off at 6:30, and make sure you catch him for next Thursday, because he'll be the one kicking it off again. So be sure to make sure you sub him up. We also have Flash by Night. Hello. I'm late, but I can catch the caboose. That's right. Absolutely, man. It's always it's better late than never, as I say. Chat, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Mariano. Yeah, listen. There's no pitch I can't hit. Yeah, man. And I know Chat is not a big Yankee fan, but we get along. I know he's a Mets fan. I respect it. Brandon, great job earlier. There's Brandon right there, ComixKings. If you guys missed his, make sure you catch that replay as well. And all right, so yeah, bear with me, guys. I'll be back and forth in between. Oh, am I freezing up a bit? Oh man. Well, let me know. I can go upstairs if I'm still freezing up, guys. Let me know, because I don't know if my connection has not been great, but I can actually just run up real quick, and hopefully it clears up from there. You're not okay. You're good now. Cool. What's up, Nigel? Nigel's in the house as well, and Rod is saying go Phillies. I don't know about that, Rod. I'll give it to you. All right. Yeah, just give me a heads up in the chat if it gets rocky. All right. So you guys already know I am a digital man when it comes to reading my comic books. It's just a preference I personally have. It's more convenient for me. I can get my books right in the morning. I don't have to go to my shop. I do buy my books physically still. I just like to, when I go to read them, I like to actually read them digitally because of the panel-to-panel features. I always appreciate that. It's way more cinematic for me. And also it prevents me from looking ahead. And I do that a lot when I'm reading books. I do have one book that I did read physically, and I actually want to point that out first, because I'll start with that one actually. So this one was not initially on my list, and I read this book physically because I got it as a gift. It was a free book from friends of mine, Anything and Everything X2 over on Instagram. I bought some books from them, and they threw this one in for free, and you can see it there. It says, free, please read. I need to hear your review. So I thought, why not? This would be a perfect time to kind of talk about this a little bit. And so I jumped into it. This is a one-shot. I have not really read anything from Shang Chi, so I should also just say that now. I just never really explored anything from this world or this character. So, but I have to say it is a really, really dope read. The writer is Alyssa Wong and Andy Tong for the artist and creator. So it was a really well done for a one shot, especially. I'm not usually a fan of one shots, only because I mean, usually it's just I just want more. Obviously, I will say it kind of ends leaving this cliffhanger that says like there could potentially be more at some point. But I thought this was a really awesome one shot for what it is. And again, for me not knowing much about the character or anything else, it's kind of like a 007, Mission Impossible type deal where there's this deadly sword, this Equinox is what they call it, this deadly sword that essentially eats souls, that's being held at a museum. And it's his job to kind of steal this sword before other people get their hands on it. Other people, and in this case, Lady Deathstrike, who is going after this. So Shang-Chi teams up with I forget the other character's name, teams up, but basically Shang-Chi goes in this museum at night to go break in, try to steal this sword, and he gets met by Lady Deathstrike. And the battle scenes in the panels in this book are just awesome. And I actually want to see it again digitally because, again, with digital, it kind of blows everything up and shows you different portions at certain times, and I really like that experience. So I might have to I know they have the stickers on the inside you can peel for the digital read. I might reread it again digitally just for that experience, but nonetheless I thought it was excellent. I thought it was a really fun read. Let me jump back in the chat here real quick. I just saw Sparks was in the house. What is going on, Sparks? My brother, he was just on earlier today. Make sure you catch his replay. He gave us a nice shout out as well over on Tag Team Thursday, so I appreciate you, brother. Exploding Earth says, what's it like being a digital man? Yeah, man, it's just been my vibe. It's been my vibe. I have nothing against physical books, and obviously, like I mentioned, I buy physical books. I will buy them digitally and I will buy them physically, especially if I'm a fan of the series. I fully believe I'm a collector too, so I like to own the books. So it kind of hurts me, but that's something I kind of deal with. So let's see. Chat was in here. You were going to okay, yeah. So I guess I'm good. I see Kelly is in the house. What's up, Kelly? Great to see you. I'm a fan of digital too, but I've been buying physical copies of some stuff. Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I know we've talked a little bit about that, Kelly. Definitely, I want to support physical books. I know how important they are to the industry as a whole, and I would never want them to go away. I know how important they are. So definitely try to buy some physical stuff when I can. But when it comes to actually reading, I definitely prefer the digital if I can. Shang Chi Monthly is coming in May. Yes, good call. Good call. Yes, I saw that. I forget who the artist is, but it definitely is something I think I'm going to check out because this is what kind of got me into it. So I really like the idea of it. I really like kind of where it went. It was that, like I said, that 007 kind of vibe, kind of sneaking into this museum, having to watch out for these lasers that turned on when the museum security went back on, and these two were dancing in between and really going at it. Lady Deathstrike, don't want to mess with her. So, what's going on, Jeff? Good to see you. Hello, one love from Chicago. Great to see you. So again, I got this book from Anything and Everything over on Instagram, Anything and Everything X2. I actually just did a mail unboxing from them on a previous video on my channel too. So if you get a chance, check that out. They have some really great people. So Jeff, Gabby, thank you guys so much for throwing this book in. I hope my mini review here was good, and I hope you enjoyed it. So next couple books up. Oh, we got Mastodon Comics in the house. What's up, Mastodon? This man been talking comics and music. And it's been really enjoyable. So, and I meant to ask you, Mastodon, I'm curious if you're a Mastodon fan, the metal band, because they're one of my favorite metal bands, Mastodon. So I'm just curious if that had anything to do with anything, but we'll get into that another time. But good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Chet saying too, Shang-Chi Bronze Age books were a great read back in the day. Okay. So yeah, man, I might have to explore that. All right. So for the digital stuff, let's get into that. Again, make sure you like that, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're new. Guys, appreciate your time. And remember, this is Tag Team Thursday, along with Rod, John, Tony, Dan, and now we had Brandon that joined us as well. All their links are in the description below. Make sure you check out their videos if you missed them, and make sure you catch them on next Thursday, starting off at Just a Rican and his Comics, 6:30 Eastern. So you can see I have a good list here that I'm going with. I was just reading some Red Mother and some other ones like that. So the one I'm going to jump into first is Catwoman, Future State Catwoman. Is a dope cover, by the way. I thought this was pretty cool. So I've been hearing some mixed signals from Future State, and I've mentioned this before. I am not a DC person. I just haven't had the time to embrace DC the way DC fans embrace it. And so I haven't even read a lot of the older stuff. Like, I love Batman. I love the idea of Batman. I love growing up and watching, the TV shows and cartoons in the 90s and everything else. But as far as my time reading comics, I just haven't put a lot into it with DC stuff up until now. I figured Future State was a good time to kind of jump in. So I read the first issue. I really liked it. It was fast paced. Selina is essentially taking over this train that has a bunch of prisoners on it. A lot of the prisoners are children. And so she wants to save them, but there's also some key people on here that she's also trying to rescue. And meanwhile, the train is operated by some bad people. So, she gets on in the first issue. This is part 2 of that. It's a 2-parter. And essentially, at the end of this last issue, we have a big surprise of some people that are on it. I won't get too in detail with the spoilers, but essentially, she finds some people on the train that can kind of help her battle her way through things and help take over this train. The fight scenes were really cool, very dark vibes to it, and just kind of that mission style again. So I enjoyed it. I won't give it a rating per se, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't the best, or my favorite in any way. I probably won't buy it physically, although I paid for it digitally. But I like the first issue a little bit more than this one. But it's a 2-parter, so it is what it is. Some cool panels though, and just to show you guys a few things here. But yeah. I didn't get a chance to read all the Future State stuff. I probably won't. I saw you guys talking in the chat, PJ and everybody mentioning some things about the new DC stuff coming out in March. So I might give some of that stuff a try, just to give it a try. I know some people like some of the Future State stuff. I was talking to Sparks about it. He mentioned Harley Quinn and some of the others. So I don't know. I'm open to stuff. I'm open to trying it out. So I thought it was a good way to jump into it. So chat was saying Mastodon rocks. Let me jump up real quick. I'm curious if so yeah, I'm a big fan of Mastodon. And he says, here's Mastodon. Yeah, yes I am, and no, the name is a different story. Okay, fair enough. No good. Saw Mastodon Chicago. Oh, that's so dope. They are awesome, man. Surprisingly strong musicianship for a metal band. Underrated for sure, Jeff, for sure. Got to see them back to back in New York City as they played with Metalocalypse, Death Clock. You guys remember Metalocalypse from Adult Swim? They actually, the writer went on tour with Mastodon, and I got to meet him. It was really cool. They had like Gene Hoglan and a bunch of other people that played in that band, even though the band's a cartoon essentially. So I thought that was really cool. Comic Chop says Catwoman had some Snowpiercer vibes. Yes, Dan, absolutely. And I love Snowpiercer. I am so enjoying that TV show. If you guys are not watching that, I think it's TNT. Me and my girlfriend are absolutely loving it. It's into season 2 right now. Would love to do like some sort of live hangout talking about Snowpiercer, because that is just a dope show right now. I'm really, really enjoying that. Let me see here. So Flash by Night was saying Future State has its ups and downs. Really enjoyed Flash. Justice League was just okay for me. Yeah, I read the first Justice League. I thought it was okay. I actually read the Lex Luthor one where he owns his own planet, Lexor, and all that stuff. I kind of like that one. I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm open to some of these for sure. Death Clock is great. It really. I miss Metalocalypse. I really do. Loved all those seasons. And he says I saw them in Mayhem Fest in 2008. Very cool. Played main stage along with Dragon Force, Disturbed, and Slipknot. Some big names right there. Dragon Force kind of leading the way in that power metal style. Especially with Guitar Hero and all that stuff. So I haven't heard that name in a while, and obviously Disturbed and Slipknot are some big names. So that sounds like a wild one for Mayhem Fest. All right, next book up that I want to talk about is Abbott 1973. I know some of the guys in the previous videos were talking about or mentioned Abbott, and also just some people I've seen online in general talking about Abbott. So this is the second issue of Abbott 1973. If you guys have not read the previous story arc, it's a trade that came out before Abbott 1973. It's just called Abbott. you can check that out first. However, if you don't have the time or you don't want to spend the money to get into it, Abbott 1973, the first issue actually breaks down, in a short and quick way, breaks down everything that you may have missed. And that's kind of how I got into it, just because I was kind of going into this blind. I just saw it when it first came out and wanted to pick it up. Didn't even realize that there was Abbott, the first series. I do want to go back and read it just because I really like the writing, really like the artwork, and I just love where this is going. So if you guys are not reading this, I do recommend. I really enjoyed this issue number 2. Issue number 1 left off with some crazy. She was essentially being attacked by one of the demons trying to make their move, right? And her being the Lightbringer and having that power, this one kind of kicks off, and she kind of dismisses this dude pretty easily. I mean, didn't really have to do much. And we kind of learn a little bit more about that later on in this issue. Her powers, she is the Lightbringer. She's the only one to kind of be able to take on this evil, this evilness that's in the city of Detroit. And meanwhile, she has some other things going on as she's working for the daily newspaper, and so she has some other battles going on when there's this big election, and they're trying to get the first black mayor to be part of Detroit. And so there's obviously a lot of racism going on and a lot of other challenges that she has to overcome and help with, making sure that a part of her job as a publicist, assisting this and making sure that, they can silence those who are spreading the negativity and the racism and everything else. So she has a lot of things going on, and she's being attacked by demons at the same time. Anyways, so it's really good. I enjoy it a lot. And yes, Kachung, it is set in 1973. So Abbott before that, I want to say was in 1972. I mean, I think it was like a year before is what the storyline took place as. And good to see you, Dave. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, man. Sparks also saying Abbott 1973 has been a good start so far. Absolutely. Definitely enjoying this. So Rod, my brother, thanks. I appreciate that. TTT. For sure. Here, Mastodon said, I heard about, heard that Abbott was good. I have to check it out sometime. I think it's worth it. I do think it's worth it. Did I miss anyone else? John in the house as well. Yeah, guys, make sure you check out the pull list. John's stuff going on at 645 that he did. Always a great list. All right, so and that's Boom Studios. So Saladin Ahmed and Sammy Cavella, if I'm saying that right. Those are some of the creators. Next book I want to talk about. I got 2 left, 3 left, 2 left. I've been reading Red Mother, so I'm not talking about Red Mother tonight, but I've been reading it, so I'm trying to track where I'm at. All right, so real quick, this was the next book I wanted to talk about. I actually was on John's channel last night for their book club that they do, New Comic Book Day book club, him and Alec from White Whale Comics, and we talked about Shadow Doctor. So if you guys have not read Shadow Doctor, I do think that it is worth a read. This takes place essentially in the 1930s. It's based on a true story, which I think was really interesting. And essentially, it's about a guy who went to school to be in the medicine field, and after he graduated, he could not get a job in the hospitals. They turned him down because he's black, and at that time they only hospitals that were open were white hospitals. So they were turning him down. He wanted to still have patients and be able to practice, so he wanted to open up his own hospital or his own work. And every bank turned him down, and every single one of them. They talk about it in here how it's not personal, but clearly they had policies then, and it's because he was black. He's black, and they didn't want to hire him. So all that being said, he ends up turning to another alternative on how he can make some money, and he had some ties to some really big people in the mob, including Al Capone, and yeah, so. It seems to be that it's going to be a wild ride for this. Also, there was some really cool stuff in the back that showed pictures of the grandfather and the great-grandfather and the father, and just kind of telling the story of Galloway. Like I said, is based on a true story. So really, really cool concept or story. I shouldn't say concept, it's a story, but and there it is, based on a true story. Thought it was really cool. So I mean, it's a heavy book, and there are definitely some heavy, mature scenes for it. So be aware of that as you're getting into it. Not necessarily for kids, I would say. But I enjoyed the first issue, and we'll definitely be picking up the next one. No good. I picked up the first issue. Do I need to go back and read the first series that came out last year? You're talking about Abbott. So you don't need to. Although it might be a better experience, it might be a bit to be a little more attached to the characters. You might have that. It might be a better experience. So if you can swing it and pick up Abbott first, I would say go do that. Pick up Abbott and then dive into 1973 after that. I see you haven't already. Yeah. So Brandon's saying that Shadow Doctor was great. Yep, I'm with you there. Sparks, I still have to read Shadow Doctor. Looking forward to it. Very cool. Rod saying I need this book. Yeah, man, get on that. Get on that. That's interesting that Shadow Doctor is based on a true story because the Italian gangsters were very racist. Yeah, it's a good point, and we do see a mix of some of that stuff right in the beginning. But so I mean, you guys get into it, but yeah, definitely a good point. And yes, Brandon, I did hear about the Spawn stuff. Some really crazy group of artists that are coming together for the Spawn announcement. But anyway, so definitely want to check that out. And then going to wrap it up with Hollow Heart. This is a Vault book. Vault by who's this by? Is it Aller Tucker? Are those two last names, or are they two different people? Yeah, okay. Paul Aller and Paul Tucker, both two Pauls. There you go. So if you guys have not considered picking this up, I may recommend that you do so because I really enjoyed it. I actually read it twice because the first time around I kind of didn't get to read everything. I share a lot of this over on John's channel, so you guys could definitely check that out. We broke down this book and Shadow Doctor, so it was a lot of fun doing that. So, but ultimately, this book it's about what used to be a human being, and there are parts of him that are still human. But he's essentially a robot now, or he lives in this robot suit, as you can see, kind of an astronaut-looking suit. And the robot's name is L, and it takes place right off the bat with L trying to escape this, I don't want to say prison, but wherever it is that he is, this facility, and he's being tackled by this human who zaps him and basically brings him back to where he has to be placed. With that being said, L gets visited by this repair guy, Mateo, who ends up having this type of attraction to, or a connection, I guess you could say, a type of connection to L, where he wants to kind of secretly help him escape or do what he wants. It's a lot of other details involved, and I don't want to get in too deep with it because I mean, it's a heavy story. I do think that there's a lot to it, and as we talked about last night, there's a lot of things that are open for interpretation. So that's kind of the best that I think I can add it with these few minutes that I'm trying to talk about these books. So the artwork was great. I think that they did a really good job at really feeling for the characters, the emotional side of that. And yeah, so I think there's some deeper meanings to a lot of the different panels and a lot of the different mini stories that are shared within this that I think I mean they're good. So would definitely recommend it. Again, won't get too into detail, but definitely recommend checking it out if you get a chance. Other than that, I had a few books that I just want to show for next week. Oh, I forgot to show. Check this shirt out, guys, because I meant to. My girlfriend got this for me, and it's a new Black Panther shirt that I just got recently because she subscribed. She got me a subscription to Marvel. Does this new club T-shirt thing every month they send you a new T-shirt, and apparently these are like more rare T-shirts that don't necessarily, or you can't just go buy. They're just for people that are part of this club, the subscription. So, anyways, thought it was a pretty cool shirt. And let's see, Sparks saying Hollow Heart has a lot of promise. Absolutely, yeah, for sure, 100%. Hollow Heart, I will be back for reading more of. I want to get that cover that you had, the David Mack cover. It was a beautiful cover. Definitely a good book to check out. Thank you, Rod. I appreciate it, man. PJ, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Zen, appreciate it. Oop, going through. This has jumped a little bit. So last couple things here, and thanks. Yeah, man. I love this shirt. And they're nice. They're good quality too. Rod said he needs a I need my wife to do that. There you go, man. There you go. Some ideas for birthdays or Christmas or different holidays. All right, last thing. These are some of the books that I'm buying for next week, and a lot of the guys talked a little bit about them. I'm just excited for these are my top 5 that I'm going to be buying. And this is the Eighth Immortal. I don't know if you guys have read the first one. About 3 weeks ago, I broke down issue number 1 on this show, on this channel. Definitely enjoyed the first issue. The artwork is beautiful. It has to do with these 7 immortals that live amongst the earth. And this one immortal, her job is to make sure that there are no more immortals that are ever created after that. But every time there's one that comes around, they're usually a younger kid. She ends up taking that power away from them. And it's got some powerful stuff in it. I definitely would recommend issue number 1. But ultimately, yeah. So that's kind of the vibe that this book has. And I should say, Jacob Murray's the writer. Alice Lee Barnes is the artist, and beautiful art, absolutely beautiful art in this. So definitely going to continue with that. That was from Source Point Press. Next up, I saw Dan talking a little bit about this, and it definitely sounds interesting. 2 Moons. I'm going to check this out for sure. And it's Image. I don't know too much about it. Arkudai and Glengoriadano. I think I'm saying that right. But those are some of the creators. And check out Dan's video. That was two before mine. He broke this down a little bit more, but I definitely am interested in checking this out. Next one is Crossover. I am just buying this because, well, one, I love this cover. Giant Size X-Men vibes. I absolutely love it. I think it's a great book to have if you're an X-Men fan, especially. But on top of that, I am enjoying the series. I'm not completely loving it just because it doesn't. The problem with it is it doesn't hit home for me. A lot of the character reveals that are in this book I'm not familiar with, partially because I just have not read that many comics yet. I mean, I'm still reading a lot more newer stuff, but there's a lot of older characters that they bring back, characters from Donny Cates, from other writers that they bring back to this book. So when they show these certain characters that come into play, to me, I'm just like, oh, now I got to look at who is that person? I feel like I should know that person, and I don't. And I have to look them up, and so it just doesn't hit home. But I love the idea. I love the concept. I like where it's going in general for what the characters are. So I hope that this continues to kind of heat up and go somewhere. It's Donny Cates, so I'm hoping that he's been killing it lately. That he can just keep this going. And also with some big announcements with Todd McFarlane, as it was brought up earlier. I don't know if that's going to kind of hint into some of the other stuff with Todd and what he's doing with Spawn, but we've already seen that Spawn was on the cover of one of these books. They are hinting towards a lot of these other characters showing up. So who knows what it all means? But it was interesting that Todd McFarlane mentioned Donny Cates and that they're going to be kind of working together on some Spawn stuff. And I don't know, who knows? Maybe this ties in somehow. Let me see. Sparks here saying 2 Moons in my new indie pick for the next week. Nice, lots of potential for sure, man. It looks like it. I definitely am looking forward to that. Dave is saying, impressive how much you're reading, Justin. Great job. Dude, I appreciate it, man. I'm for these especially, a lot of the books that came out, I'm very excited for. I try to set some time aside. I've got my girlfriend reading comics. Guys, this is perfect. It's just great. And she's enjoying a lot of them. She loved Hollow Heart. She enjoyed Shadow Doctor. I had her read Fear Case with me last week. She's been just getting into Descender. She's on the 7th issue of Descender. She was reading Saga. I got her to read the first trade of Saga. So anyways, it's been a big help that we can kind of share that. So on Wednesday night, her and I, she'll just read what I'm reading. I'll show her a couple books that I'm getting into, and she'll give them a shot. So it's been a lot of fun, and definitely trying to just read more, because that's what this hobby is about for me, is prioritizing that reading, prioritizing the stories, the characters, and exploring, especially these newer indie books. So I am trying to just be better at that, because last year I did not read nearly as much as I wanted to. So this year has definitely been different for me, and I'm loving the direction that I'm going. And this show, Tag Team Thursday, has definitely been a huge inspiration, because I want to be on top of it and read all these new things. So it's been a lot of fun. ComixKings saying that crossover has been very enjoyable. Yeah, for sure. There's nothing bad about this. I mean, I'm enjoying it for sure. I would say there's a lot of overhype with what it is. And again, maybe it hits home for certain people that know who some of these characters are that showed up from other, stories of other indie titles from back in the day or whatever. For me, it didn't quite hit, but I'm still enjoying it nonetheless. Happy girlfriend, happy life. Rod, I like the saying happy spouse, happy house. But yes, that is accurate too. Dan is saying gotta go to work, bro. Dan, you did a great job, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. And make sure you guys sub up Comic Shop News from his video earlier today, and he'll be back again with us Thursday again. So I appreciate you hanging out here, man. So Rod, I don't know what you're saying, Rod. You saying like ring, like a noise, like a ring the telephone? I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, Rican pushing the button. All right, other book here. I don't mention the X-Men enough, but I read all the X-Men, guys. I read all the X-Men titles. I'm just way behind because I'm reading from what do you call it? From Marvel Unlimited, and I wait for them because I already have a subscription. So I try to not buy it digitally just to get the story early. I want to wait and have it then. I do buy the books physically. Some, not all of them, but some of them. This one particularly I want to raise because I just love the artwork for this. I thought it is tremendous. This is Christian Ward. Christian Ward's been killing it lately. I just thought this was so dope. All the New Mutant covers are so dope. So yeah, I'm reading all the X titles. No doubt about that. I just don't show them all here on this recording. But I am reading them little by little. Last book I want to talk about is Department of Truth. So when did I go on? Oh man, I went on. Man, all right. I looked out on the clock. I thought for sure I was in the 25-minute range. I'm over that. Sorry, guys. Thank you all for hanging out and sticking with me. Department of Truth from Image, definitely one of my favorite reads right now. Definitely one of my favorite reads if you guys are not reading it. I think everybody on this whole panel of Tag Team Thursday have talked a little bit about Department of Truth. So that speaks volumes. I mean, it is something I would say definitely do not sleep on this. Check it out if you get a chance. Read the first issue. See how you feel. And let it take you from there, because the story, the concept, the artwork is just tremendous. The artwork, Simmons is doing the artwork on this, on the interior stuff. I think it's being taken over now. It is Charioteer. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think it's taking over. Her name's Elsa, I think. But Simmons doing the cover and was doing the first 5 issues. Tremendous. So we'll see what Elsa has to do, what Elsa does on the next issues. But either way, really good read. Highly recommend it. And that kind of wraps me up for today, guys. Man, I'm trying to keep it in that 30-minute, 25-minute range, and I did not do a good job of it. But I am getting better, and they say with practice makes perfect, right? So working on that. Appreciate you guys, everybody in the chat. Make sure that you sub everybody up. Tag Team Thursday. It started with Rod, Just a Rican in his comics at 6:30. Then it went over to John's Comics with Kids at 6:45. From there, it went to Old Wolf 65 at 7 o'clock. Dan, Comic Chop News at 7:15. And then Brandon, who's in the chat, ComixKings was at 7:30. And then I wrapped it up at 7:45. So if you're catching the replay, and you haven't seen all those other ones from this Thursday, go check it out and catch us next Thursday, because we'll be right back again, starting off at Rod's channel, 6:30 Eastern time. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. I got some fun stuff coming up, including Comic Collector Origins at on Saturday at 2:30. I'm sorry, at 2 o'clock. I'm just saying numbers now. 2:30. Who says 2:30? It's at 2 o'clock Saturday with Steve, Hip Hops, and me from Team Nerd Herd. So I'm really excited to have Steve on the channel this Saturday. And yeah, just going to keep that show going. And yeah, hope you guys all have a great weekend. I appreciate all you guys coming out. Highlight a couple of you as I'm heading out here. And, Todd, Sparks, Brandon, Chet, all you guys, thank you so much for sticking around here towards this very, very end. Really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out all the other Tag Team Thursday crew members. And until then, I will talk to you guys later.